We got the one, the only, Ryan Yes. String bean slinger.
He robbed it from him.
Maybe I should introduce it. Here, we're going to do this again. In the club, grilled chicken, in the kitchen.
Budget for this podcast is just going up.
Good songwriting is a fresh take of how to sing "I love you" to someone or something like that.
No, a song is never finished the first time through.
I can't, I could maybe do it like gun to my head, but it does, I would really have to force it.
My topic is going to be more dissecting the writing of the song.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Crush Podcast. Today we are hanging out on this beautiful, actually it's a terrible Sunday afternoon. It's really rainy and stuff like that, but in my head, I'm just thinking everything's beautiful. Trying to be optimistic as much as I can in this year of 2020. But either way, we are sitting, hanging out. We got the string bean slinger, Todor Bernajiv. We got
The what?
That's me.
String bean slinger.
String bean slinger.
String bean, I guess it would be. We got Diano, the ladies' man. And we got over there Irichku, ladies and gentlemen, Eric Somers-urrea. You may know him as the Instagram famous drummer with 11.5 thousand, maybe even 12. It could be 13 at this point.
Yeah, just hit 0.5 today.
0.5. There you go. You may know him from his Instagram channel and a tickety talk. I am Ryan, but your host today is the man all the way from Bulgaria. Give it up for my boy, Todor.
I feel like I should have introduced everybody.
You robbed it from him.
Maybe I should introduce it. Here, we're going to do this again.
Let's
Yeah,
do it
you
again.
can do it. You can do it again.
Here we go.
Do this again.
Do a clap, though. Do a clap. Okay.
Give me. Okay. Or actually, I was just gonna say keep this going, but you could edit some Jeopardy music into this right now. You know.
That's fine. Just
host.
go ahead. Give us the.
Yeah. There we go. So we got the one, the only, Ryan. Yes. Say hello. Say hello for the people, Ryan. Next, we got Matthew Diano Gadiano in the club. Grilled chicken in the kitchen. And of course, we got the Erichku Somers-urrea.
Wow, the budget for this podcast is just going up.
I know.
Sound effects.
Those are some good sound effects.
Yeah.
Anyway, so today I guess my topic is going to be more steered towards the musician, songwriter type, and it'll be pretty much dissecting the writing of the song, because right now, as far as I know, we're all songwriters here, and we have our own home little studios that we write out of, and I think it'd be pretty interesting for us to go individually and kind of go one by one and, explain what we do, how we get inspired, where do you get inspired? Like for me, for example, I usually get inspired. I drive a lot, so I get inspired in the car. I get inspired at the grocery store. I get inspired in the shower, and that's some other avenues. But mostly that's when it happens. And I usually it starts with like a riff idea, and then I go into my voice memos box. I record a few ideas. I remember one time after work, I came home. I had this idea in my head. As I'm setting up the studio, because it takes a little bit of time to set up, get everything on, I was recording it on my voice memos and recorded like 5 different versions of it. And then once I actually got down to recording, it came out to something completely different. And it was like much cooler. So it's different for everybody. So maybe I like to start with, how do you become inspired to write a song?
I will say for me, it's all based on the beat. I may have like some poetry that I write on the side. I may try to think of some melodies while I'm kind of just singing along, brushing my teeth or whatever the case is. But for the most part, I get really inspired by the actual beat of the song, the piano of the song, whatever, because it puts me in a mood. Like I may have already ideas that I kind of jot down, but if the song is really happy, then it just gets me into like this happy melody and so on. I always create really the melody first before the lyrics. And I know that some people do it differently. But the thing is that I try to figure out, like, I feel like the melody dictates what I'm going to sing about. It basically, like, if there's something that I start singing something sad, I'm like, oh, the lyrics start happening. What usually happens is that there's like a a phrase or just a couple words that I just keep on saying that just like, it's like, it just comes out.
So it's more so like it stems from the one-liners instead of creating an idea in your head first and then going off that.
Yeah. And that one-liner that I keep saying, I'm like, okay, what is it? Why do I keep saying that? What is that reminding me of? What story is that coming from? What can I make of that? And then from there, I start like a waterfall, just go from there. When I get stuck on lyrics and stuck on stuff like that, I'll go read, I'll look up the rhyme zone and stuff like that. But for the most part, I'll actually go look at past work of things that I'm really inspired by different poetry or by different lyrics and stuff like that, and see what they did. Like, how did they get to where this is? And what's something different, a mindset I didn't think about before I got into this song. And then I can always turn into something really cool. And then honestly,
do you ever put yourself in a mindset where you've never been at and try to write something about that, even though you've never experienced it in real life?
Yeah. Well, there's a little truth of everything, right? I mean, so for example, like Up All Night and like Better Weather are those like really sad songs, right? I've been dating this same woman it'll be 11 years next week. Okay. And so we've been together for a long time and we've never really broken up. But we've had a lot of fights and we've had a lot of sad situations and things like that before. So yes, we didn't break up. We didn't do those things, but I still really felt those emotions of what could potentially happen. Now, I will say too, is that this band isn't just me. It's all of us, right? So there are some stories that I hear from you guys or things like that makes me think, oh, this is really interesting.
We all vicariously live through each other's lives.
Exactly. I mean, we're a unit, right? So, maybe
we're all connected, like the
maybe I didn't go through a breakup with that, but when Matt or when other people have gone through, and I say Matt because Matt and I have had a lot of deep conversations because we've been friends with each other for over 10 years, 11 years, and we've had a lot of long car rides or parked in the car in his driveway talking that, I feel like those issues that he's had become my issues as well. Like I don't want to see him as sad, or I don't want to see those things. And it's inspiring in a sense of a song at times too. So, I mean, we all live vicariously from each other. I think that's a great thing for that. And that's where it all stems from. And honestly, it changes so much. For example, some of the songs we've been writing right now, I rewrote the lyrics and melodies of those 1.5 billion times, because sometimes what I felt in the beginning and what I realized, like, oh, I didn't think about this, changes all the time. So a song is never finished the first time through.
I'm glad to be your inspiration.
I could have used Todor. I could have used Eric. You're just an easy inspiration to that moment.
No, I get it. Yeah, I feel like for me in writing songs, it's a little like when I listen to songs when I'm trying to draw inspiration, it's always within like the first 15 seconds for me. Like if I can't capture the vibe, then I'll still listen to the song, but I'll be like, oh, this is a cool song. But I usually know like 15 seconds in at max, I'll be like, I really like this. What is this? I actually recently started listening to Marvin Gaye and like going through the discography. And there was one that he wrote, I think it was called Here, My Dear, or For You, My Dear. And it was a whole album that this man wrote in the middle of it getting separated from his wife. And his wife, they're trying to like settle, like, I don't know, fucking divorce shit. I don't know. And instead of like money and owing things like that, he was like, I don't know if I'll have that. And she was like, okay, well, just dedicate all the proceeds from your next record to me. And he wrote Here, or For You, My Dear, or Here, My Dear.
Damn.
Man, that guy.
That's great.
Woo!
Well, that's wild.
They considered have the best record of all time.
And I've never actually listened to Marvin Gaye. So the opening track, within the first 15 seconds, I was like, there's something special here.
Yeah.
The content is just crazy. So I try to listen in for that and then apply it to my own life and the parts that I like about it. As Ryan said, I am sometimes he can pull from my experiences, and I definitely have. I am not shy of dramatic, romantic experiences.
Dramatic, romantic. I like it. I like it.
You know,
yeah.
just like a little quick thing. Marvin Gaye was killed by his father. Shot and killed him.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, I did not know that.
Wasn't
I
giving
didn't
him
know that
money.
either.
He believed he should got more money. Just money situations. So it's kind of
Man.
crazy.
Terrible. That's a bad situation. So, Matt, as a person who does both vocals and as a keyboard player, I know Ryan mentioned that he does melody first. Which one do you do first, melody line or chords?
Melody lines or chords? Between the two,
Yeah.
when I write, I do start off, I find it stronger when I have a melody because I do sing.
Yeah.
And it's just a lot easier for me to find the chords to go underneath.
Underneath melody?
There have been a lot of times recently, though, within the past year that I've started off on chords and have tried to find some melodies in there, and it's been going pretty well, I think. I just sometimes just stitching those parts together. I'll get like 2 chords, 3 chords, and then I'll have a melody, and then I'll have a really good idea, and then I'll think of something else, but it's just a different vibe. And then it still sounds good, it's in the same key, but the melody doesn't link up or the transition's really awkward. So I go through these days where I'm in what's I don't even know what it's called, like piano gridlock, where I'm looking at one certain key.
Yeah.
And I'm just like writing the chords, and then the melodies either don't come out the way I want to, or the chords don't because I'm focused on like a certain part of the melody.
Yeah. Lately I've been trying something new, and what I do, I just push record and I just start playing off the top of my head, anything. On guitar, of course, rhythms or solos or melody lines. And after I'm done with my little jam sesh, I've recorded everything, and then I'd go back and really check out parts that I thought were interesting and kind of dissect it and chop it up, and maybe 2-3 songs come out of it. You know what I mean? And I mean, that's just something new that I've dabbled with. I thought it was an interesting technique.
It's so
every
cool.
time now I'm recording myself, if it's a voice note or whatever, because there's always something like, oh, what was that? That was cool.
Yeah.
Because I'm just like riffing most of the time. So that's a great,
Man, I absolutely cannot do that, and I'm very jealous. I have to it takes me a while. But you know what I was just thinking about, what I think is funny is that I think each one of our songwriting strengths fits into first of all the roles that we play as musicians in the band, and also just they just complement each other so well. For me, I feel like I'm very much I cannot write a melody to save my life. It just doesn't come naturally. I can't I could maybe do it gun to my head, but it does I would really have to force it. But so for me it's I like starting with a blank slate and sort of creating the foundation and the vibe. And that's what I feel I like doing. And I feel
with the drums though?
I usually don't start with drums. I almost never start with drums, but that I feel I can hear the drums in my head with whatever I go with. So some days I'll start with bass. Some days I'll start with a keys pad or something. But it's funny because it's as a drummer, it's a very foundational instrument. It's totally complementary. So it sort of makes sense that my brain instantly goes to all right, foundation. This is what everything is built on. And then Ryan is melodies, right?
Right.
Top line stuff. Todor, riffs. I can't do riffs. I can't do that either. I can do chords and I can do drums.
Yeah.
No riffs. And then Matt is Matt's the texture, filling things out. Matt kills it with harmonies. Matt kills it with cool sounds and crazy keyboard chords. Because I'm usually just first inversion basic ass bitch, but
that's all you need right now.
Yeah. Well, and that's great actually, because for the longest time, my question was, in terms of songwriting, my question was, how do you start a song? A lot of people, they don't know how to start a song. How do you, do you start with a chord? Do you start with a melody line? Do you start with inspiration from another song? Well, the answer, I think, in my opinion, the answer to that question is, it really doesn't matter how you start it, but the following steps after you start it, I think there should be a certain order maybe. But let's just say, you started out with drums. Well, I don't know, maybe you get a bass guitar after that. Or you start out with some chords, get a melody line after that. Or you start with a melody line, well, get some chords under that. So it really doesn't matter how you start, in my opinion. But the steps after that, I think, are a little bit more important.
I mean, to me, what's interesting is just how different people's brains work. Like I could absolutely never start with a melody and then figure out what chords go underneath it. Like it could not happen for me. But like for Matt and Ryan, like that sort of top-down approach is natural for them.
Yeah.
Like I would really be going against the grain to try that.
I used to think when I was younger, I would always say to my parents, like, these songs on the radio are so simple. All you got to do is just this. I'll just do this, blah, blah. And like, it's not even good, it's cheesy. But then as I've grown older, and I realized that it's the simplest songs that have the biggest impact, right? It's the songs that I know when we were with John Feldman, he would talk about if you can do it on a acoustic guitar and just vocals, that's a great song. And there is a lot of truth to that. And then there's a lot of songs that what's cool about the song is the production too. So, it depends on what that is. But what I was going to say with it is that the song connecting with billions of people around the world to make them believe that this song is good is a really difficult thing to do. And it's so much harder than you think it is. And yeah, maybe the chords are 4 songs and maybe the melody line is easy, but the fact that billions of people can connect to it makes it a really good song because it has an emotion that everyone wasn't able to say, but you were able to say it in a very simple sense. That's good songwriting, right? And as I've grown older, I realized, okay, that's the best thing for it. That's what makes a really good song. But at the same time, that's so fucking hard. It is. That's not easy.
Not a simple task.
It's like, how do you make something creative and something interesting and something unique, but also sound very familiar and feel very familiar to people?
Right.
Yeah, I think that's like the. Oh, sorry, I'm stepping all over Matt here.
I was gonna say, I think I was listening to a what was it? And the Writer Is, and I think Ross Golan was saying it was like good songwriting is a fresh take of how to sing "I love you" to someone or something like that.
Yeah,
it was like I mean, like because people, how is it in 2020? You know what I mean? People are just like, oh yeah, what are the big songs on the radio? The songs about there's 2 people and they either want each other or they don't.
Yeah.
Like I feel like that's such like a big like a big premise that will always be.
Yeah, that's a big connection point. I mean, everybody goes through that.
Right.
Yeah. But in starting a song, it's tough to get that structure down. I'm very for the approach of find your own approach. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But practice all. Don't be discriminate to like, I don't know, trying the top down melody first, keys. Try doing everything. And I really like to try to establish that with like, if there are any like young people trying to learn music, that was something that I always thought as a piano player, I had to write the piano part first, and then I would write the whole entire song on piano, and then I would hop on the drums, and then I would play all the drums on the whole song on all piano. I was like, I don't know, like 12, 13 years old. Yeah. So if you're young and you're trying to get into songwriting, just there's no rhyme or reason, get it done and hold on to what you love about it and make that your process. Like that should be your process. Everything that you love to do and maximize that time around, and you'll always get something that you love.
Yeah. One thing for me when I songwrite a lot, if I'm doing like a 3-hour session or something, I'm like I keep busting out new material. I think having breaks and having things be fresh is super important, because I feel like, especially when you write a certain song that's maybe a little bit, lengthier, I feel like your ears get fatigued by the end of that. And I feel like a lot of people take granted the first listen of a song. For example, I don't know, I've been dabbling in mixing and mastering and stuff like that. So when I work on a mix, I'd work on it for X amount of time and I just get tired by the end of it. At the end of it, I wouldn't even hear certain EQ frequencies. Like it's just, my ears are fatigued. So I'd leave it alone. And then next morning, or whenever I listen to it next, I definitely don't take for granted the first listen, because that's when you're going to find out, the differences between when your ears were tired and when they're super fresh. And it's really amazing how much it changes. You know, you go to sleep thinking you got this awesome mix, and then you wake up the next morning and just, you're like, oh my God, why is the bass so loud? Or, oh my God, the drums sound fucking dry, you know, like, and you're like, what was I doing? So, yeah.
It's extremely rare, if ever, that I finish a song in one sitting. I mean, I would finish, maybe I got the verse and chorus. I'm like, oh, sweet. But then now I got to write a second verse. It took me like 3 hours to write the first verse in this way. Mm-hmm. So now I'm going there, and then I go listen to it. I'm like, I don't really like that lyric anymore. Or I just put something there just to fit something there. I think I could do something better. So, you know, one thing I learned recently was, well, one thing I was going to say about what Matt was saying about how it could always be different. Right now, you guys know that I've been working on a solo record, and I've been writing with different writers that I didn't even know. I walked into the Zoom with them and then just started writing with them. And like, we talked forever about things and then went through there. But it was the first time that I had somebody almost tell me what I was kind of thinking. Like, oh, you know, this is a way to say something. I'm like, and at first I was like, fuck you mean this is how I'm thinking? And like, you don't like, and then I was like, well, no, let's see where that goes. And maybe I can add something there too. You know, it is a collaborative effort. And sometimes, you know, your one idea that you have, sometimes I get stuck on an idea forever and I can't think of anything but this one idea. Yeah. Have someone someone else come in and be like, you're thinking of it all wrong. Think of this. Like, it opens up new possibilities.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that's a rare opportunity. That doesn't happen that often.
No, definitely not. Definitely. Yeah. But one thing I did learn this year that I've been taking really close to heart was writing blues in the verse and gospel in the chorus. And again, what we were just talking about a little bit ago when we were saying that a song is difficult to make it resonate with billions of people. Well, if you make the chorus at least resonate with billions of people, and then the verse is a lot more personal to you, then that could be awesome. That's like really, really cool. And so that's what I've been really trying to take an approach on what I've been writing, to make it feel that way. Again, blues in the verse and gospel in the chorus.
Nice. I think that's a good approach for writing songs and being really I think that's the best of both worlds on trying to access a lot of people and to be personable, you know?
Yeah.
Because you can still get really excited about a detail that is very individual to you, at the same time be able to say whatever you're trying to say, you know. Oh my gosh, my dog.
I feel like you're going to say something, Eric. What happened?
Oh yeah, we went on like a different tangent a little bit. But no, I was going to say I saw this really interesting thing. I wish I could remember more of the details, but it was basically talking about like why humans are the only like creatures on Earth that like respond to music. And it was talking about how we desire this, we have this like craving for predictability. And I was just thinking about how that relates to like pop songs. Because like when you listen to a pop song, like especially structurally, which is where my brain always goes first, is you always know what's coming. You always know when the chorus is about to drop. You always know what's going to happen. But what I think is interesting is even melodically, I feel like that's the case too. Like I think when you listen to a really catchy song and you get that chorus first try, by the second chorus you're singing along, it's because it has this like predictability, this way of moving in your brain that you're like, I've heard this before, but it's sort of like a new way of thinking about it. So I think like
your brain rewards you in a sense.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's literally like they literally talked about it in the article. Like I don't know all the terminology and stuff, but it was like, you know, whatever I don't know. Is it serotonin that makes you happy or whatever? You get that boost. But I think what's interesting is like to me, some of the catchiest and most interesting melodies are like that has that instant like predictability where you know it's going where it's going, and then it throws like one
just
note,
a little bit off,
and you're like, oh, that's exciting. It's like like remember that Fun song that got super big? It had that one crazy jump in it. And then literally every song after that for like the next 3 years had that big interval. It's, you know what I'm talking about?
No.
I feel like Yeah. That's it.
Oh, yeah.
That's got the jump. That jump showed up in like 10 more songs later, but like no, like I'd never really heard that before. And I feel like that interval got so catchy. Like it's just those little tweaks to something that is instantly recognizable.
I mean, that's the same thing about like the third chorus in a song where they start embellishing a little bit and like stuff like that. Like it's almost it, but it just a little bit change happens that makes it feel so new and so fresh. And just like, I can't believe they just did that. I didn't expect that, but it's like all it was just one little note to go up instead of down.
Yeah, it's interesting that there's a psyche aspect to it.
Right.
Very interesting.
Do you guys see? I hate that. I don't know what the word is for this, and I feel like people when they say like I see colors when I take one. I don't
synesthesia.
Synesthesia, like I know, and I'm just like, dude.
I don't.
To me, I feel like I always just see colors in general. Like when I think of the name Argast, I think of red, and when I think of the name Matthew, I think of blue. But like I don't know if I don't. I'm not saying that I have. I'm just psychic, whatever. But sometimes when I hear a song, it makes me think of I see kind of a color, like this song feels red to me, which feels dark and stuff like that. So we go with that. But do you guys ever feel that way? Or are you guys black and white?
I don't see colors. I feel the color though. Like it's not like I close my eyes and see purple for Up All Night or something like that. Right, but you know, when you can feel a color. I do believe that certain colors, you know, evoke certain emotions in us. And I think.
Oh no.
We have our first.
Oh, Spider-Man got him in the web, man. It's all tied up.
You know what's crazy is that he's going to be just talking on the recording.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
And we're going to be talking over like we can't hear you.
You're just going to have to pause him.
I am going to pause him. I'm pausing him. This whole time, what I'm going to do when he's talking is I'm just going to have this video of him, his face like this.
Yeah.
My power shut off, he said.
Oh, no.
Oh, God.
Like in his whole building?
He said,
"Oh no!" I like how he's still here. Though.
Yeah, this is exactly
like one moment. Yeah.
Well,
we'll be right back.
We'll be right back. Well, I wasn't the host
left
today,
by our host.
We've been left by the host. Shout out Alex Trebek. R.I.P.
Oh, man.
That's some sad stuff, to be honest with you, man.
Dude.
He's one of those guys. He's your rock. You know what I mean? Like he's the guy where I don't watch Jeopardy religiously. I'm sure none of us do, but it's one of those things where it was always on. You turn on the TV, he's probably there, and it's just this stability that he's just alive this whole time, and now he's just gone. It's just one of those things where it's like, I can't believe how sad I am that he's gone. I haven't watched Jeopardy in years, but he was Jeopardy. He was something that's part of your childhood, and I don't know if you ever feel that way when someone like that passes. Someone else recently passed where I was like, that hurts. I guess everybody this year, 2020.
It's been a lot of musicians lately, man.
Yeah.
Like when
Eddie Van
Bowie. Oh yeah, Eddie was. But like Bowie hit me hard. Yeah, Chris Cornell hit me hard. Chester Bennington hit me hard.
Yeah, well, those two specifically hit me hard because of how they passed away and how like sad that is.
Yeah.
Where Bowie hit hard, it hit me really hard when he released Black Star right after. And what was
birthday?
On his birthday, and what the song that he released,
Lazarus.
There was a yeah. Oh man, that song is so powerful. Video. Yeah, the music video. It just made me like that. How much work and in recent years, where Chadwick Boseman and even Alex Trebek had cancer, and they still did everything they can. And Bowie, up until the last second, you're going to die very soon, but in the last second, you're going to still work in that. I mean, that's just Oh man, it's tough. And I hope that I have a career and we have a career that I'm working to I shouldn't say working, but I'm doing what I love until the very last breath. I mean, it's crazy, but I think Todor's done here and we have rehearsal to go to. So I think we're going to wrap it up here. I think we said everything that we should say on that. Todor said, he hasn't said anything back since. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. He's calling me right now. Hold on. Let's get him on speaker real quick.
Yeah.
Hey, wait. Hey, Todor, you're on speaker right now. I know. Wait, hold on. Whoa.
Yeah, it's out, so I don't know what to tell you. It's a little windy.
Well, we're going to end it right here. We're going to end it right here just so that we can, we'll get to start getting to rehearsal and stuff like that. But you did a great job hosting. Everyone likes Todor's hosting. Say, yeah.
Todor! Yeah, Todor! Here's the kicker. I think the file's going to be gone because It's not.
Oh,
your
yeah.
Logic file didn't save?
Yeah, bro. I'm thinking about it. Like, it's not gonna save.
Well, you know what? I will say this. I don't know that for sure because I've actually been in situations before where my Logic turned off and it came back right on. So possibly, but if anything, we have this Zoom. We have this Zoom that we can do on it.
And if anything,
Great.
maybe we can do.
All
it
right, so
later.
we're gonna end it right here. We're gonna sign it off. Do you want any last words that you want to say as the host? You're on speakerphone on the recording.
Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed my podcast today, serving as a host. And yeah, hopefully next time if I am host again, hopefully my power doesn't shut off.
Yeah, we'll see if you're host again after this.
Yeah.
But no, all right, cool, man. Well, we will see you in a little bit then.
Yes, yes.
All right,
Goodbye,
Todor,
everybody.
Todor signing off. We'll see you guys later on the Crush Podcast. Adios, amigos.
Bye-bye.
Oh, before we go, make sure that you go to thecrush.marinacityband.com to go pick up some new merchandise for yourself. We got a bunch of cool stuff that's on there. I don't know when this is going to be actually released, but I assure you there's going to be something great. Go pick something up. You deserve it. And of course, you can always hit us up at thecrush@marinacityband.com to hit us up about any kind of questions or things that you want for the next podcast. Or you can do one better by hitting us up on our text line at 815-406-6209. That's 815-406-6209. We're the ones actually texting you. So we hope to see you guys then. We'll see you next week. Adios. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.